Relationship with Food Part 3, we are talking about our healthy why behind why we want to have a healthy relationship with food, not comparing it to someone else. I was thinking about a good friend of mine, and she knows who she is, and we were talking about Instagram, social media, and we were talking, she's like, it's just ruining my life because you look at so many different people, especially when we look at different women, we're like, oh, look at her, look at what she's doing, how she does this. You don't want to compare, friend. You do not want to look at other people and say, well, I want to have it like this person, or I want to do this because I want to look like. It's nothing wrong with being inspired by someone, but it's something wrong when you're looking and comparing yourself back and forth with that person. You don't want to do that. So having a healthy why behind your relationship with food is so important. The reason why you want to do it is because your body matters. Your body's important. Your body's a temple and it's precious. So don't just put anything within your body. You actually want to care about what you do with it. And number two, you want to also look at your schedule. Very, very important. Taking the time to sit down and say, you know what? This is what I have this week. We started doing this with our family. We sit down and have a family meeting now. Got inspired by someone, a person that does this with their family. And they said, we sit down, we look at our schedule, we do this, we do that. And I'm like, man, I'm going to do that. And when you sit down, you look, you're like, oh my goodness, we have all these different things coming up. So you know what, on this day, since it's the most packed day, let's all go out to eat. All these other days, I'll make these meals for our household. When you do that, you're actually saying, you know what, I'm plotting against life, I'm setting things up, and then boom, I know exactly what I'm gonna do at the time that it happens. And you make wiggle room. You say, you know what, things may come up, so I'm gonna pack some snacks on this day or do that. Do whatever you have to do, but at least you're not just blowing in the wind. Mentally prepare. Like what I like to do personally is I tell myself, okay, on these days, I'm gonna have this. So for myself this week, I know I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have tuna fish on this day, I'm gonna have salad on that day, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. And I like to have a lot of greens. So I will stock up on kale, arugula, cucumbers, all those greens. And I'm like, I'm going to eat all of it because if you know produce, you know that produce is not going to last for a long time. So you want to make sure that you eat it up and you knock it out. Doing the flip-flop method too, I learned this a few years ago and I really like it. So say that you have a thing for carbs, like you like your pasta, you like your pizza, you like, what I'm saying, your breads. Nothing wrong with that, right? You enjoy those things. But what you also start to do is incorporate this flip-flop method where you have your pasta, but you have a large plate of greens. You have a large thing of fruit on that plate. So you flip it. So whereas you would usually have a large plate of pasta, where you'll be exhausted and tired afterwards, you say, you know what, I'm gonna have a large salad with this pasta and have a smaller portion than I normally would. And doing that, you will find that you feel better, you're having a lot more of the good stuff that your body actually needs, and you're not exhausted after having a plate full of pasta. Because usually what happens with people is that our portions are out of control. Like they're just like, oh, I'm gonna have 5 servings of this, rather than the actual serving that it says. So rather than doing that, you should have it where you're doing that flip-flop method where the greens, awesome. Pasta, I'm still having it, I'm still getting my fix. And the bread, yeah, have the bread, but don't have the whole roll, So now you're doing that and it feels a lot better. Another thing, intermittent fasting. I am an advocate personally of intermittent fasting. It is not for everyone, but me personally, I like to do it. Having a window of time where you're eating. So having a 4-hour window or 6-hour window and saying, you know what, this is the time frame that I'm going to eat and I'm not going to snack in between. I'm going to eat at this designated time and that designated time. And that is going to work for me. That personally for me, friend, has worked tremendously. Doing that as well as doing a low carb diet has helped me so much as far as reaching my weight goes, feeling healthier, having a lot more energy. It just works. So finding the method that works best for you is what you want to do. What I do is not for everyone, which is why I tell everyone you have to listen to your body and see what actually works. But I know I've been asked, hey, what are you doing? What works? This, that, and the other. Those are the things that personally work for me. I enjoy it. I still eat my meat. I still eat my veggies. I still have my, my drinks on the weekend. I still enjoy all those things, but I do it the right way and not getting lost in it. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that this helps you. I have one more video on this that I'm going to shoot next week, and leave your comments, leave your questions. I look forward to reading them, and I will be back on here soon. Have a great day. Mwah.